In order to achieve their ambitious goals, they had to overcome numerous obstacles related to the equipment. Season's goal is to surprise everyone with the amount of gold they pull out of the Alaskan mines. The recent gold rush finds made by Parker Schnabel and his crew astounded us in the following ways. In all, 5,066 were our season totals. We surpassed 5,000. Thank to everybody. As usual, that's pretty awesome, dude. Parker Schnabel and his team have been exploring and scoring in every Alaskan mine they can get their hands on. For all their wildest dreams, that is the one and only path to reach the gold. Curiously enough, we encounter Parker and his crew while they stumble upon something really mind-blowing in their quest for this riches. Do you think this might be anything that's millions of years old? On the other hand, could this be the instance of discovering an incredibly rare and valuable treasure? When Parker and his crew were 10 weeks into their season out in the Alaskan mines, they made this intriguing discovery. They were busy plotting their strategy to amass as much gold as they could find. Our target here is 1,000 ounces. While we wait, we have been hoarding old drift tailing in the hopes that they still have plenty of go because we have a lot of stripping to do. They quickly realized they were up against a disruptive enough challenge to end their season. The crew's objective for that season, to obtain $450 troy ounces of gold, was hindered by this. Because of this, they might earn up to $800,000, nearly 1,000 ounces per week, roughly 1,000 every week. God, that's insane. Good point. I know, it's crazy. Just think of the possibilities if Parker and the team had that much money. If nothing else, they could at least gather all the necessary information to carry on with their operations in their heads. Now let's shift our focus to Jacob McClure and Chris DeMitt. There are two key players on Parker's squad. Because he oversees the operation of two crucial team machinery, Chris deserves some credit for his contributions to the group. Two wash plates, Lucifer and Big Red, are utilized to remove dirt from gold. In contrast, Jacob, the newest member, was tasked with leveling dirt mounds and ensuring the camp ran properly in general. They have a lot of work on their hands, as you might expect. So it seems to reason that they would be overjoyed if their machinery never broke down. Now we reach the unsettling issue that Parker and the crew must address, Alice. You see, the squad discovered that Big Red was having some issues just about halfway through this season. I observed that everything was spilling over the sides of the belt when I played with some damp material. After doing some examinations, the team discovered that the machine's conveyor belt had been stuck because of some debris that had gradually become embedded in it. Later on, the group noticed that it was creating problems for other parts of the system. This was unfortunate news since it hindered the team's ability to harvest riches in the future. The team's objective of removing 430 troy ounces of gold from the mines they were operating in was put at risk, so naturally it was horrible news. The team came to the realization that they would need to turn off Big Red in order to manually remove the obstruction causing the conveyor belt of their machine to become stuck. This was the only way to accomplish this obstacle. This was definitely not a simple undertaking. Since this was their primary objective, they had to be extremely cautious to avoid harm while they worked together. In an ideal world, we would have gotten everything from the rollers. A blaze is kindled. Okay, time for the big reveal. Even though they were aware of the need to exercise caution, they were likely worried that they would incur larger financial losses than average as a result of the time and effort required to repair their machine. I can only imagine how much stress Chris and Jacob were under in the middle of things because they had to move swiftly to get Big Red up to speed. The mining sector is a physical embodiment of both time and money, after all. Additionally, their financial losses increased in direct proportion to the amount of time spent operating the machine. Things may have been terrible, but the squad didn't appear to have dealt with them head-on. They were aware that they were facing challenges, but they deserve praise for maintaining their concentration on their objective of obtaining the gold. Because of circumstances like these, they realized it would be crucial to collect as much gold as possible, and every ounce counts. Also, they were confident that they could fix the conveyor belt issue and get back to business as usual after an exploration for fresh land if they worked hard and were determined enough. Returning to his crew, Parker was filled with anticipation. If the team could accomplish their goals while he was away, it would give him confidence that they were working hard. They started to figure out what they needed to do by counting the amount of gold Big Red could sell before it broke, even if he wasn't there to witness it in action. They were ecstatic when Big Red helped them get 212 ounces of gold before the conveyor belt let go of the ghost, and they were even more thrilled when Schnabel was able to compliment Big Red and help them get all 450 troy ounces of gold. The crew then proceeded to test Schnabel's ability to assist in the extraction of gold from the ground. I received 204,100, 2,100, and 8,200. Yes, 24.6. Very respectable. Envision the elation felt by the group upon learning that Schnabel had contributed a total of 323.50 pieces of gold to Schnabel. The crew managed to surpass their weekly goal of 500 troy ounces of gold, even though the wash plant was malfunctioning. The team's excitement was palpable when they calculated that they had earned almost $1 million in 1 week. It must have seemed like a dream to everyone engaged. If this meant that the squad had collected 2,928 ounces of gold that season, they would have been ecstatic because it would have demonstrated that they were successful. At the very least, it demonstrated to them that they were capable of meeting their own expectations. By maintaining their level of effort throughout the season, they are confident that they will discover all the gold that can be found. As a result, we meet individuals like Tyler, a recent hire who is assisting the Fitzgeralds in mining the leftover rocks for gold. We really need someone like Tyler to help us discover some great opportunities. She has amazed everyone thus far with her deft handling of the team's loader, especially considering how new she is to the job. She may be able to assist the team in their quest for riches by revealing any precious metals concealed within the rocks they have lifted. You probably guessed right. This is no easy undertaking for anyone to undertake. Given that one of the Fitzgeralds, Jackie, insisted that Tyler should be able to discover the gold within these rocks despite the fact that doing so was a monumental job, it appears that Tyler would just have to take up this area. Perhaps this quest for gold is an indication of the robust and pleasant nature of the couple's relationship. Hey, Tyler is right here with us right now. She appears to have a firm grasp on the truck. To be honest, I'm thinking about asking her whether she's prepared to take on a heavier load. Exploring rock formations for hidden gold is about more than just building a high-powered connection between an employer and their staff. As it turns out, the whole crew is putting their faith in Tyler to unearth the treasure trove of gold that lies hidden within these rocks. To be sure, this may end up deciding the team's success or failure for the season. Fortunately, Tyler has proven her mettle with the loader and left an impression on everyone. Everyone is glad to have her on board since she has a knack for finding gold, which could be vital to the team's success that season. At the time, Parker was venturing out into the Australian bush in the hopes of gaining a better understanding of the situation. Time would reveal that he, too, had been prospecting on one of Fitzgerald's sites for gold. Unfortunately, while trying to remove a number of big rocks from the ground, Parker discovered that his efforts were hindered since part of his apparatus had become stuck. He encountered difficulties with this task as his shovel became caught in the earth. Frankly, Parker ought to have been more aware of the situation. He couldn't dig through the big boulders on Fitzgerald's property using his shovel, which was made for little stones. Parker, ever searching for a way to prevent the bigger boulders from causing further havoc with his machinery, transformed one of his slit racks into a filter. Parker and his crew resumed their duties when this problem was resolved. Because he wanted to know if Eureka Creek had enough gold, he did all this. If so, he and his squad may use the off-season to go mining. Parker and his crew are able to adapt to the difficult conditions of outback mining because of inquiries like these. Looking around, you'd see that the property that Parker and his crew were working on was very important to them. Parker and his crew could tell by looking at the ground below them that it was worth far more than the vast majority of the property they had previously worked. Dude, there's still more grime even when you peel it off. I am actively pursuing it. Yeah. And there will always be a lot of unknowns, but we will figure it out. I believe there are a lot of people who are eager to hear our results. Hi, Parker. In fact, while searching for additional land to work in the off-season, Parker came to believe that the land near Eureka Creek was the richest he had ever seen or reviewed. While the Yukon is still frozen over from winter, Parker chose to go to the area below under so he and his staff could keep busy. When local miner Ian Holland told Parker that he would be happy to sell Parker his lease, it was fantastic news for Parker. But Parker's excavator was hit by some damage, so he couldn't check the ground for gold. For this reason, Parker began to fret that he may abandon Australia before discovering the land's true worth. Parts for Parker's broken digger would take too long to arrive, thankfully, because Ian seemed to be the type of guy who takes the initiative. Because of this, he thought it would be wise to bring his own excavator to the celebration.